Welcome back to the Hockey Show and good mythical morning. Welcome to the trade deadline 2023 final day of it all. The crazy day, but is it going to be this crazy day? I'm going to make a video about that after this one. But this is a trade that happened last night that we didn't see the full details of. At least I didn't until after I was not in the mood to make videos anymore and I didn't want to make one at 10 at night or whatever. So we finally see the full trade, and this trade was going to happen, but the Dallas Stars were playing the Chicago Blackhawks, so they didn't want to trade Max Domi from one team to the next and play against his own team, or if I don't even know if that's allowed. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but maybe that's a thing too. But they didn't trade him until after the game, and it's finally happened, and Max Domi is a Dallas Star, and I think this is a genius move by the Dallas Stars. I think Dallas does need kind of an agitator kind of guy, a gritty, grindy, physical guy who's like in your face. That's what Max Domi is. That's Max Domi. That's kind of how I would think of Domi hockey, right? And I think Dallas is a perfect place for him to bring his skill and talent and agitation and aggression to the team, because I don't think Dallas has any of that in their lines. So I think it's a genius move by them. And not only that, but he also brings the number one. They've added the number one scorer on their team. Patrick Kane wasn't even that. He was points behind Max Domi on the Chicago Blackhawks. So, which could be a multiple factors of things. Patrick Kane not being bought into the whole idea of the Blackhawks this year, and Max Domi trying his hardest to have a great season, seeing a challenge maybe, and taking up the challenge of playing on one of the worst teams in the league, and he's taking it. And obviously, in this trade, once again, the Chicago Blackhawks show how utterly insane this franchise is. They might be the dumbest people in the. I'm gonna do a video about this, about the worst GMs in the entire league, or just the worst owners, or whoever's actually going to be in charge of making these trades, because Chicago's going to be up there with the stupid stuff they've done now. And Max Domi, their number one guy, even more than Patrick Kane this year, and more points than him. What is the return for Max Domi and Dylan Wells, which I will note, Dylan Wells, taking just a quick look at his history. I'd be honest, I don't know much about the guy. I've heard his name before, actually, but I don't know much about him. But looking at it, his AHL stats, not the worst. I mean, this series, 17 games played with only a 2.96 and a 905. That is not bad for a goalie in the AHL of all places. So, not bad. Actually, a pickup. I mean, he could. I doubt they're looking at him as a potential goalie one day option, but just not a bad ad at all. So, who knows? But the Chicago Blackhawks, these stupid idiots that run this team, for their number one guy, they trade. Now, I know Patrick Kane's their number one guy, but their number one offensive producing guy this season, they get Anton Khudobin for cap reasons and the AHL, which is kind of sad, I guess, for a Dallas fan. Last time he made a good run at the playoffs, he was your goalie, he was your star, and now he's not, and he's not even going to be on the team to participate, so that's kind of sad. But he's moved out due to cap reasons. Max Domi's a $3 million contract. Anton Khudobin, $2.2 million, so that's for cap reasons. And a second-round pick. I mean, maybe I'm an idiot, and maybe I'm over-assuming certain things about the NHL. Maybe I am assuming things, but does any other team not see Max Domi as a potential trade target like I've been saying, and be like, oh, well, they're going to give you a second? Well, I'll give you a second and a third. And then, like, is there really not a bidding war for Max Domi with 49 points on a team like Chicago? I mean, I know 49 points is the end-all, be-all, but he's only played 60 games this year. He's got 18 goals. He's almost 20 goal scorer this year on the Blackhawks of all teams. And he's doing really good for himself. I know Max Domi doesn't have a huge history, but he's a rental. What the hell? Like, maybe I just over-evaluate players, I guess, maybe, but, like, seriously? A second-round pick. I mean, is this not a second round for your number one points guy and Dylan Wells, who seems to be somewhat of a decent goaltender for Dallas, at least for their AHL team. Like, what? Like, this doesn't make any sense at all to me. Like, a second-round pick is it. And I don't even think picks are that special. But at least, like, in my eyes, they traded for nothing. Because a second-round pick, you have no idea what you're going to get. And Chicago, I don't know. They're only banking on the idea of landing Bedard. Which, even if they end up in the last spot, they don't even necessarily are going to win Connor Bedard either. Sure, they can still get a good pick in, like, Fantilli. But, like, still, like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know how anyone could be a fan of Chicago anymore. I was a fan of this team here until they started making stupid decisions. I realized that I didn't like the Sharks. I just liked hockey. And now I cheer for all the teams. And Chicago, I don't know how you could cheer for them anymore. They're just idiots. So, yeah, that it's dumb. But Max Domi to the Dallas Stars, I think, is going to be huge for them overall. I mean, bringing 18 goals and 49 points in 60 games of all teams with the Blackhawks, going to the Dallas Stars, who have so much momentum going for them right now and just so much energy, that him being paired, I read that for some reason they noted that he's going there to play with Tyler Seguin, which I guess maybe I'm missing a link there between the two guys, but I guess if he does play with him, that would be on the second line, and I do think that's the best fit for him. Or you could maybe do the third line, then you have a really stacked top top 9. So I do really like this trade. Oh, I mean, I've said it a million times now. For the Stars, and I just think it's a perfect trade for them, really. Like, it's a perfect rental. He's a perfect cap hit. He's perfect fit for the team. He can fit anywhere. He can play multiple roles. And he fills in a role that I don't really think they had. So, overall, huge trade for the Dallas Stars. It's going to be an underrated one, I think. I don't think people are going to see this as a huge deal trade at all, which, I mean, it's not a huge deal to me, but I do think it is a very, very smart move by the Stars, and it's going to definitely help them in the playoffs. And I know that's not really saying much, but I just think his role that he's going to bring, his identity on this team is going to make an impact that obviously wouldn't have been there if he wasn't on the team, but it's going to help them greatly in the playoffs. So that is all I have to say, and thank you guys for getting me to 100 subscribers last night. I thank you. Now get me to 200. That's the next goal. Get me to 200, please. Thank you so much. I'm begging you. And thank you for watching this, and until next time, have an amazing day. Have a fun trade deadline day, however you are celebrating it. I remember back in school when I was sitting in class, and it was one of the few days I'd actually be checking my phone to see the trade. So if you're in school right now, don't be watching this video and pay attention to class, because you shouldn't be doing that. But anyways, too sweet. And hope you're having an amazing trade deadline day. And ta-ta for now.